Well, hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back. I'm Tara Kindon, cosmic mentor, astrologer, and doer of all the things. I'm a multi-passionate creator, and I'm so excited that you are here. We are diving in today to the new moon partial solar eclipse in Aries that is happening on March the 29th, which is a Saturday, which is tomorrow. I'm recording this on the Friday. So let's dive into kind of the energies that are here for us. And actually, before we even dive in, I just kind of wanted to get just a theme of the vibe. So we're going to be talking about the astrology. We're going to be talking about the human design. And then we're also just going to be flowing with the insights to give you ways in which to navigate this energy. So it has felt like a lot of energy over the last little while, which we all know this, but we've been really experiencing a lot of feminine energy and a lot of water energy, which can feel very overwhelming emotionally. So, well, this is going to be drying up a little bit. We're back in it because Venus is retrograde and so is Mercury. So let's pull a theme card of our little conversation today. And it's the rest and relax card. I know you guys probably can't see this because for some reason my screen is doing this weird blurring effect. All right, so we are going to talk about ways in which that you can rest your body, relax your body as you're navigating all of this really big energy. So if you're new here, welcome. If you've been around a little while, you know I love to start with the astrology. And if you are a regular, welcome back. I'm so grateful you're returning and you're here. So let's look at this chart. Obviously, we can see it's a heavily weighted, outside energy. We've got less Pisces, but we still have a lot of water-based energy. And we have, now we're moving into a lot of Aries energy, which is great because it's initiating us in new ways and helping us get moving on things and in areas of our life that maybe we've been a little stuck in. And you may still feel stuck, even though, yes, we're in all this initiatory energy because we have Venus retrograde and we have Mercury retrograde and we have Mars still out of bounds. So the energy is definitely, it's leaning us into where we're going, but we're not quite there yet. And there is a lot of anticipatory energy. We're really anticipating the things shifting and changing. We can't wait. We've been really slowed down by this Mars retrograde, which happened, in September and just finished like a month ago, but he's still out of bounds and creating a little bit of chaos as he's in Cancer. So the way we take action has been changing. The emotional energy of it has been changing literally every couple of days because the moon moves new signs every couple of days. And this is where the energy can feel a lot like this. So my friends who are emotionally defined in their human design really need to get into the flow of the moon and recognize that every time she moves into different signs, it creates an impact in your energetic field because you feel differently every couple of days. And then this affects the way you show up. I think at this point in this year, we are all being highly impacted by the moon's movements. Now, some may agree, some may not agree, but this is just what I'm noticing with clients and the work that I've been doing in all these conversations. It's an ongoing theme. So today or tomorrow per se, the moon is going to meet up with the sun and it's going to be a new moon vibe in Aries, right? So they're going to be at 9 degrees and we have Mercury, who's at 0 degrees of Aries, about to move back into Pisces just after this. And then we're going to have Neptune move into Aries. So this is going to be a really big shift. Now, you may not feel it the moment it happens, but some of you who are really tuned into your own spiritual self have been feeling this shift coming. So Neptune will be in Aries for 14 years, which means we're kind of completing a cycle of him having been in Pisces. And to be honest, I'm not sad he's moving out of there because it's been like up in my business and really creating a little bit of chaos. So I'm going to be like, yay when he moves. But remember, he's going to go back into Pisces for a couple of months, but only a couple of months. And then he's going to full on move into Aries. We're going to have Saturn moving into Aries, like all kinds of shifting and changing and movements of energy it's brand new. I mean, Neptune hasn't been in Aries for, I think it was like somebody said 160 years. I didn't verify that, but just so you know, it's a long time, right? Long time. Anyway, so with Venus being retrograde as well in Pisces, she's very happy here, right? It's her exaltation. So she's very happy. She's very comfortable. She's in her element here, but she is retrograde. So she's showing us something. Always during retrogrades, we can think about our ability to slow down, revise, redo, reevaluate, and that's the beauty of a retrograde. I know when retrogrades come, Mercury retrogrades, everybody freaks out, like, oh, technological, blah, blah, blah. Yes, this can happen, but it doesn't happen to everyone. And those who have this energy retrograde natally in their charts, it's like, hallelujah, things finally get into more flow for them, right? So pay attention to how retrogrades affect you and what they get you to look at, something that you've been putting off, something that you've been neglecting. You get a chance to get it done, right? So while this energy is all kicked off and activated, I do want to bring your attention back to Hygeia, who's the goddess of preventative health and wellness here in Taurus, and Pallas Athena up here in Aquarius at 13 degrees. Yeah, they're a little bit off, but they're still making this square. This square is ongoing. The energy that is here for us to recognize is, what insights are you getting? Because you all know what you need to do to take amazing care of yourselves, but sometimes we just don't want to do it, or it feels like too much work, or it feels like it's just putting ourselves as a priority is the last thing on your list. Well, not now. I will say this, every person that I work with in my wellness practice and in my astrological practice, it is like top priority is your wellness, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic. And while those sound like a lot, they're not. You can do a quick check-in to be like, all right, how do I feel emotionally today? And we're so out of touch. Like not everyone, I won't say everyone, because some of you who are here are very in touch, but the majority of the population is very out of touch with how they actually feel. So this is something we're all being forced into, and that is coming with a little bit of chaos, right? A little bit of chaos. Then we have Saturn, making a positive connection over here to Uranus. So things around our boundaries, around our structures are getting shaken up in very uncomfortable ways. So this is where we need to recognize, well, what do I need to give myself to feel grounded? And we're going to talk about the earth. We're going to talk about where the earth is in the human design chart. So those are just some simple things I really wanted to bring to your attention and let you know. The other thing here is that Mercury is going to trek back. Mercury is going to meet up with Neptune, with Venus, with North Node and Saturn. And the same with Venus, she's already met up with Neptune. She's just coming off that energy. Then she's going to move into the North Node. Then she's going to touch base with Saturn, and then she's going to go forward again, right? So we're in this phase of okay, how do I feel about where the direction is that I'm headed? How do I feel about my spiritual practice? How do I feel about boundaries that I have or have not been setting? And this is where energy vampires can really show up and take away some of your vitality or make you feel like, I'm just giving out so much and I don't know how to stop doing that. Well, during this beautiful new moon, remember, new moons are about inviting in something, setting a new tone, going on a new path. And in Aries, this is always an energy of initiating something within ourselves. But I will say Venus during this new moon is opposite the South Node. And there is an energy of releasing. We need to let something go to bring something new in. So what in the Virgo areas of your chart are you ready to let go of? Are you ready to release? Are you ready to move away from so that you can move into something new? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this share and we're going to look at the human design chart, because I think this is going to help you land the energy to really show you, where things are showing up in the body. So hopefully y'all can see this, and I'm making it a little bit bigger here. and this is what we're working with. We've had this emotional manifestor energy, and I'm a manifestor, right? So I'm manifestor vibes I'm fully aware of, but emotional manifestor, that's a whole new level for me. You know, when you have a lot of openness in your chart by way of white Mercury retrograde, that's all I gotta say about that. When you have these white centers, you're amplifying the energy that's around you. You know, you like either get lit up or you get overwhelmed or whatever it is that happens. But I have an open emotional solar plexus. So when we all are experiencing this definition, it's like it's just coming at you constantly, and you're trying to figure out how to work with it. That's what we're trying to do right now, is we're trying to figure out how to work with this emotional energy. And some of you understand it and work with it regularly. You may not know how to navigate it, but you do work with it regularly in a certain way, where others, like myself, are experiencing it in new ways and having to find ways to navigate it. I'll tell you, my biggest secret, the thing that I love the most, is the rescue remedy from the Bach flowers. I got certified in Bach flowers because I love them so much, and they help to fizzle my shizzle and help to keep me feeling grounded while the world feels topsy-turvy, right? So if you are up for trying something new, I invite you to check out Bach flowers. All right, so let's start with the energy of the sun. We're going to go top to bottom. We're going to go through the chart and show you what's what and where it is. So we have the sun here in the gate 17. I also want to point out that the moon is also in gate 17. So we have this energy of anticipation. 17 is here off the ajna, third eye. And this is where we're like legit seeing into the future, and we're anticipating what's coming. We're all really excited about it. We're ready to illuminate ourselves in it. Our emotional selves are behind it. But the problem is we may have this preconceived idea of what we think is going to happen, but ultimately we have no idea how it's coming and what it's coming in as. So we want to play in this space of potentiality and possibility. We don't want to preconceive like, oh, it's going to come in this way, and if it doesn't come in this way, I'm going to be super disappointed, because that's what happens, right? So we want to stay as open as possible and play like mad scientist. What if this works out? What if this looks like this? Here's what I would ideally love it to look like. And then you stay open to the things that are coming at you, because if you don't, you're going to miss opportunities coming your way from your environment, from other people, from the places that you're in, and from messages that you're receiving. So today, even if you have no clue about astrology, no clue about human design, it doesn't matter. Feel into what I'm saying. If things land, they're meant for you. If you're like, that is horseshit, I don't understand, throw it out the window. It's fine. You don't need to absorb everything. And this is probably something you should learn not to do, is take everything and be like, that is the gospel. No, like, you have to trust yourself. And one of the biggest things I do and work with clients on, how do you trust yourself enough to know what to say yes to and what to say hell no to, right? And to give yourself the opportunity to challenge the status quo, okay? So that's that. Now let's go to the earth. How are we going to stay grounded? So you want to look over here to the gate 18. This here is running off your spleen center. And there's a lot of fear that gets caught up in the fear center. And if you feel your heart racing, if you feel yourself getting caught up in like the fear of the future, the fear of the past, the fear, take a deep breath and just notice where that fear shows up in your physical body, and just breathe with it. This too shall pass. And right now we're in a big phase of realignment. Okay, that's the gate of realignment. And I use quantum human design for those of you who are like, I don't understand the language. So I use Karen Curry Parker's quantum human design for the language. I love her. I love it. I'm trained in it up to level 3. I just love it. So anyways, that's that. So you want to see the pattern that needs correcting and waiting for that timing. you know, to circle back, to correct it, and then to serve the world, serve your people with joy. Because the 18 connects to the 58. So there is this energy of like bringing us into mastery, bringing us into our joy. And maybe there's some things we need to realign to get where we're going. Okay. I'll leave that there for you to just contemplate. Now, let's look at the North Node. The North Node is in the gate 36. You'll also notice that Saturn is in the gate 36. So think of this as North Node, where we're going, where we're headed. So Saturn being the planet of structures. He's the one with the big ring around him, right? Structure, constriction, cold, hard, like boundaries, right? And so this is where you got to set some boundaries to get where you want to go. And if you're available and open to everyone and everything, you're probably not going to get there. So this is a beautiful opportunity. They're working together and they're reminding you, listen, say no. If you want to say no, say no. Now I know that's easy for me to say and not so easy to do, but I promise you, the more you start saying no to shit you don't want to do, the more space you're going to have to say heck yes to the things that you just can't wait to get started. Now the South Node, so North Node is where we're going, South Node is where we've been, but we never throw the South Node out because the South Node is our goodie bag of talents, gifts, and all of these magical things that we've accumulated over all these lifetimes, whether you believe in past reincarnation and all the things, past lives. You have a little goodie bag you come in with, and that goodie bag sits in your South Node. So like, where's your South Node in your chart? Because that's where, you know, some of the natural gifts and talents you have hang out. Right now for the collective, because we're looking at a transit chart, this is just a snapshot of a moment in time, as is your birth, that snapshot of when you took your first breath and said to the universe, I have arrived, I am here, and I'm ready for my mission. Right? You screeched out and then that was it. Here you are. So this is a snapshot of a moment in time when we're having this partial solar eclipse. So that South Node sitting here in the gate of impact off the emotional solar plexus center. So there is this energy of, you know, we know we're here to make an impact. If you're watching this video, you know in your heart you're here to make an impact. And you want to really watch this energy because you probably have the ability to really almost enter into other people's auric fields. Like people probably tell you a lot of things, like a lot of information that you're like, I don't even ask for this and here we go, because you have that faith. No, it's like you have that vibe and people trust you, right? So you want to watch with this 6 that you're not taking advantage of that trust or overusing that trust, right? Because this is a gift. This is a gift we're all playing with. So I'm just gonna, again, let you sit with that and think about that. Now, Mercury and Venus, who are both retrograde, are sitting in the gate 25, which runs off the G, our heart center, right? This is our ability, our identity, it's our direction in life, and we're revising and revisiting our communication and the way we're magnetic AF. So, if you're not feeling energized, if you're not feeling magnetic, I can 100% guarantee there is somewhere you are not taking care of yourself. Maybe you're over speaking. Maybe you're over giving. Maybe you're overdoing it. Maybe you don't allow people to give to you, or you don't listen to other people. This can be something that we're all working with, right? And look, we're all learning this lesson. Sometimes we speak more than we should. We have one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Apparently, y'all know what to do with that. So think about it. I'm just going to initiate you, because that's my job, into contemplating where you're giving too much away and not allowing yourself to be in receptivity and receiving that good, juicy love, right? They're both retrograde here. So, you know, retrogrades are revisiting, revising, redoing, reevaluating, all the rewards you can imagine sit in a retrograde. Okay, Mars, who is now out of his retrograde, moving forward in the gate 62. And the gate 62 for that Mars is around preparation. And we pulled the rest and relax card. So in this gate, there is an energy of needing to restore ourselves, needing to prepare for what we are anticipating is coming in. So I think, and with Mars being in Cancer, there is this energy of nurturing ourselves, nurturing our spirits, being compassionate towards ourselves, being highly attuned to our intuition. What are you sensing? What are you receiving? What are you acknowledging? What do you know? Blah, 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 blah. And give yourself the time to soak all of that in. Now, Jupiter, who's the big benefic, the great benefic, the expander, is in gate 35. Gate 35 runs off the throat, and also that Jupiter is in Gemini, sign ruled by Mercury, who is retrograde. So even Jupiter is a little bit like, I don't know what to expand. And this is where you can feel like your mind is down 1,000 different rabbit holes. And you're like, it can just feel chaotic. Like you're in information overload. You're learning 1,000 things at the same time. It's just the way it is while he moves through Gemini, but you're gaining all of this information and insight that eventually you're going to be able to expand into and lead with. And maybe some of you have already figured that out because he's halfway through. He's at 15 degrees and in this gate 35. So maybe you're ready to start sharing it because you've learned enough from those first 15 degrees of the astrology sign that he's in, Gemini, and you're ready. And Gemini, I will say this, like Gemini is, if you think about Gemini as a sign, yeah, it's the twins, yeah, is an energy of being able to see all the sides, potentially this two-face thing, but it's also the sign of the gem in eye. So this can really be where you're uncovering the gems hidden inside of you, your secret talents, your hidden talents, all these things you know about yourself. It's like you don't want to hide them anymore. And I think this is where a lot of people are waking up too, to be like, all right, I got a lot to do here, and I'm ready to get going. So enjoy that, live it, move into it, step into it, launch yourself. All right, let's look at Chiron. Chiron's here in the gate 42. The gate 42 is the gate of conclusion. And in the gate of conclusion, I'm like, where the hell is the 42? I'm having trouble even finding, he's not showing up highlighted. But the 42 is here. Off the sacral center. So you want to watch here where you may be burning yourself out, okay? And that energy of conclusion, it's like, you need to let something go, but you're not ready to do it. You're not prepared to do it. You don't want to do it. You've been humming and hawing and sitting and farting, and it's time. If you feel like it's time, if you're exhausted and this thing needs to go, all the power to you, let it go. Be done with it. Move on. Move on. If you keep holding on to it, you're going to be burnt to a crisp and you're not going to have the energy to move forward the new things that are coming in. Okay. Now let's look at Uranus, my favorite guy here. Uranus is this rogue entrepreneur, a little bit wild, a little bit electric. He really wakes and shakes things up within us. It's definitely an energy that, when he comes around, like, it, you feel it. You're like, zzz, your whole body is electric. But he's running here on the throat, right? So he's running here on the throat. This is the gate of fulfillment. This leads us towards the purpose. Our purpose, us being us, is the greatest gift we can share with the world, right? And so I want you to think about fulfilling this purpose. What do I need to shake up in my world to be able to fulfill that deeper purpose that is burning in your heart? What needs to go, what needs to change, what needs to shift? And I forgot to mention too, we're going to talk about Neptune. Neptune is also hanging out with Mercury and Venus in that gate 25, which is the gate of spirit. And with that energy, the spirit is there. Our spiritual selves is supporting us in really revisiting and revising how we're communicating, how we're showing up in our worth, and all of those things, okay? So just add that beautiful layer on of like your highest self coming in, being like, can we clean up this stuff so we can move on? And then we have Pluto finally down here in the 41. The gate 41 is about imagination. It's about taking and planting the seed in the most beautiful and fertile soil so it can take root and grow. What are the ideas that you've been receiving? Have you been receiving beautiful new insights and ideas? Because they are trying to come through to you if you're not receiving them. But if you're exhausted and you're not rested, you don't have the capacity, right? Okay, I'm going to stop the share. I'm actually just going to show you again. You know, I like to close off with the astrology chart because it just sort of holistically brings it all together. Like we've talked about all these guys. We didn't talk about all the asteroids, but that's okay. They're there just supporting us. You don't need to know everything about everything. You just need to know we're in a beautiful time of shifting and changing and moving and flowing. And then I want to just kind of pull up here. This is the energy of, I actually don't even think you guys can see that yet. Hold on. I'm going to reshare this one. And hopefully you can see this. I think you can. All right, so you see Mars here who's out of bounds, but he's the only planet out of bounds. What's beautiful about this new initiatory chart is that we have more fire, thank God, because we've had so much water, and we have a balance between the masculine and the feminine polarities, which is what we need is balance. We need equality, we need justice, we need balance, to super Libra stuff. But you know, when I think about the polarities, think about like how are we recharging both sides of our body battery? You know, do we have the beautiful plus energy from the sun? Do we have the negative energy from the earth? Feminine, masculine. These are energies that we're working with all day, every day, all the time. So the chart is beautifully balanced. Now, what are we going to do to enjoy those vibes? All right, my friends, that's a wrap on today. So I've pulled the one card, the rest and relax card. You know what to do with that. It's about refueling you, re-energizing your body, your vibes, and letting yourself just breathe. If you don't have Bach flowers, please go out and get the Rescue Remedy. It's amazing and it's so great. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at any health food store. If you're local to me, you can come on in and get a custom tincture done. Woo, hair sitch. So that is all. I am bidding you all a beautiful weekend ahead. Hopefully you're catching this before the weekend, before the energy hits, but it's going to be here with us for a little while, so you get to enjoy all of that juicy goodness. Also, for those of you who are really feeling tired, if you're feeling like you're doing all the right things with yourself and your energy, but you're not being able to bust through this exhaustion, this burnout, this adrenal fatigue, these you know, things that are percolating up within you that are making you just not feel like yourself, join me for a free webinar that I've got running, and we're gonna do what's called like an energy alchemization. So I'm going to drop that in. It's free. You can join it. You can join 2 different times, and I'll put that below in the comments and or in the description below. So thank you all so much for being here. Until next time, have a beautiful new moon, partial solar eclipse in Aries. Take care.